Welcome back, guys. We have officially made it to the halfway point of Daredevil Born Again. Let's not waste time and get into it. Now, on to episode 4. This is another pretty uneventful episode, but it starts out with Hector's belongings being bagged up, and we end up meeting his niece, Angela, who, if I'm not mistaken, ends up becoming the most well-known version of White Tiger. And this episode also has a really funny moment of Fisk not working as well as he anticipated in politics, when he has to sit through an out-of-tune children's choir singing a song based around his slogan for his campaign. And it was a really funny scene when he just forces himself out of it. And then the episode is mostly like Matt trying to figure out what happened to Hector, since no one can seem to figure out what happened. Although it's pretty clear that Matt is aware that it's the cops, and he ends up confronting the corrupt cop who Hector got in a tussle with that didn't die. Although when Matt listens to his heartbeat and the cop says he doesn't know who killed Hector, his heartbeat doesn't change, so that is supposed to mean that he's telling the truth, which is, I would have expected him to be the one who killed him, or at least know who did, but he was very clear that he has no idea at all what happened. We've also got a part in this episode where Matt basically has to deal with a pro bono level case where a civilian gets arrested for stealing caramel popcorn. So Matt's dealing with this case, and I think the reason that they did this was to either show Matt or remind him the reason that he became Daredevil was because the law fails its ordinary citizens, because the guy that he's helping is still going to end up going to jail for 10 days over popcorn. And the show kind of plays it off like it's this extreme measure. And, well, yes, like, the show frames its point as well as it can. I don't think they did it very well, because they're using, like, a repeat offender who didn't have to do what he did, and he keeps on doing it, and Matt was able to reduce his sentence by over almost 70%. So I think the show could have done a better example, but it does serve its purpose in showing the law and the system is still failing the little people, which is who Matt wants to help ultimately. But as Matt's investigating, he's able to find the bullet casing that came from the bullet that shot Hector. And then after this, he immediately goes and looks for Frank Castle, the Punisher. And Matt's conversation with Frank might be the best part of the show outside of the first 15 minutes. We get this great conversation where Frank is just seeing right through Matt and immediately catches that Matt isn't here to really get him to work with Matt, and just sees that Matt is still completely destroyed over Foggy's death. And Charlie Cox is just delivering on every line in this show. He just gives such a powerful performance in this specific scene, and I can't say it enough. I love him. He is incredible. Charlie, Vincent, and John have all proven that they truly understand these characters perfectly, and I couldn't be happier to see them back. Throughout the show, they have a very nice way of displaying Matt's powers. A couple examples are like when Matt goes to Hector's crime scene, once he finds out where the bullet casing went, he's instantly able to just pick up the casing instead of like feeling around for it, just because he can smell the gunpowder and just immediately pick it up. And they do this nice camera trick to show when Matt is using his hearing powers, and it kind of like zooms out on like the background but zooms in on him. I don't know if I explained that well, but it looks really good in the show. Now, episode 5 is pretty controversial, but I really liked it. I think it's a fine mid-season break. This is directly in the middle, but it is very clear that this episode was released along with episode 6 because people were definitely going to be tired by having to wait a whole other week for the actual Daredevil action. This episode plays out as kind of like a mini Die Hard. Matt goes to the bank to try and get a loan for his law firm, and as he's leaving, a robbery starts to take place. Matt returns to keep the hostages safe, and it's just a really fun mini episode. I do understand why people are saying that this episode killed the pacing, and that it is kind of true. It's more lighthearted, and I'm pretty sure that this episode was almost fully intact from the original show. This was just a fun episode, and I do understand why people are saying that this episode killed the pacing, and that's kind of true, but it was a good episode that was just isolated. It had a fun cameo from Miss Marvel's dad, and it was just a fun open and close story. and it felt like actual TV, unlike the extended movies / mini series that we've been getting. I do feel like this might have been better suited as a Disney Plus Daredevil special, or maybe you could have condensed this into an opening, but the episode was fun. If it was bad, I'd have a lot more to say about it, but it was okay. It worked out well, and we still got some good action. This show is not devoid of all action. Matt's just not suited up as Daredevil for the most part. Overall, I give episode 4 a 6.5 out of 10. Matt's conversation with Frank was a 9.9 out of 10. Very good. If the entire episode was that quality, it would have been a 10. Then episode 5, I think I'm going to give it a 7.5 out of 10. It was a very good episode. It did kill the pacing though, and it doesn't really match the vibe of the entire show, which is a bit of a bummer, but it's not that bad. Guys, if you liked the video, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. If you didn't like it, please be sure to comment down below what I could do better. I'm always looking for ways to improve the content. Thank you guys so much for watching, and take care.